Those who haven't caught COVID yet, how have you managed to avoid it? I didn't avoid COVID, COVID avoided me. As goofy as that sounds, some people just aren't as susceptible. In a household of 5, 3 of us got it, and my husband never did, despite being around our youngest a lot and sleeping next to me while I was unwell and prior to my having taken a test. He didn't get it, and it wasn't for a lack of exposure to 2 confirmed cases. Likewise, the middle kid, who even rode with me in the car in close proximity to get tested negative, despite having symptoms of something. Maybe it'll catch up with him at some point, but so far it seems like it did indeed avoid him. Edit to add that Hubs tested negative several times. Edit 2, we've always been as vaccinated and boosted as we can be, as soon as we've been able to do so. I'm an doctor who has been neck deep in COVID for over 2 years. We are talking face to face, staring directly down people's mouths during intubations, having them cough all over me with no mask because they refuse to wear one or were absolutely sure I don't have it, having all my coworkers and my former roommate, while we were living together, get it, still clean. No symptoms, tested negative a number of times. I kept thinking during the real spikes that I was going to get a phone call about the government wanting to take my blood to test for antibodies. Since you're a doctor, do you think because you might be getting micro-dosed, for lack of a better term, with COVID enough and over a long enough time that your body is like, I see you bitch. Not today, Satan. It definitely crossed my mind, but all the other doctors I work with, and nurses, techs, etc., got it and we worked together, so if that theory worked it shouldn't be just me. It's funny because I work in similar departments and we find that very few of our staff have caught COVID while at work. The ones who have can be traced back to kids bringing it home from work, a girl's golfing weekend away, a husband on a Bucks weekend, etc. We've had patients call the next morning to inform us they've just tested positive, and even a nurse who worked side by side with us for 3 days while positive yet no outbreak eventuated through our clinic. I've heard similar reports from my aunt and Max Fac colleagues. Dentistry here, always masked with upgraded airflow and UV air cleaning. Staph infections have, so far, only come from home and outside work contact, especially kids from school. Especially kids from school. No, stop right there. That can't be right. Didn't you hear that kids aren't vectors for transmission? Right? Kids have been bringing home anything going around from school since humans invented fire. But that somehow got turned on its head by people who actually have kids in school. School has always been a human petri dish. Here, take this back. Bro, I'm dying. You should probably go to a hospital then. Bro, he's dead. When is the funeral? Now. We are gathered here today to honor a random Redditor and eat pizza tacos. Amen. I live in Gary, Indiana. Not even COVID wants to come here. What do you call a man from Gary, and who has a big dick? Hungarian. Gary Jerry Gergich. That man has the largest penis I have ever seen. I actually don't even know if he has COVID, forgot to look. I was distracted by the largest penis I have ever seen. I hate people and I don't like to be touched. Let's be friends. Actually, never mind. I once worked with a guy for 3 years and never learned his name. Best friend I ever had. We still never talk sometimes. Ron Swanson. Me live in cave. Me never see people. I got a brain tumor and I got isolated in a hospital about 1 year ago, and now I'm just trying to keep distance from people. Edit. Thank you all. I am very grateful for all the support and I am very thankful for everything and everyone. There were probably easier ways to avoid COVID than the route you chose. But I respect the dedication. On the rails though, hope you kick that tumor's ass. Believe it or not, more people have brain tumors than you would think. Most are negligible and have no effect. Kinda weird once you start reading up on it. Thank you for my newest irrational fear. God, I already read about rabies on here the other day and that was enough. Did you see the video on Reddit about a guy that couldn't drink water due to rabies? Felt sad for him as it was too late for him to be saved. Yes, and then I went into a rabbit hole. I had no idea rabies is this horrible and that you can't do anything. Very scary. Rabbit hole? I haven't had it yet and I don't know how it's possible. All my colleagues, my whole family, and my friends have had it. Some people have super immunity to it. The wonders of genetic differences. I followed all the rules like a good little boy, but I had to do field work all through the pandemic and worked in close prox to others. Testing regular. I have no goddamned idea. My parents had it twice, everyone in my office already had it, etc. Only me and my girlfriend are almost 3 years clean. At this point I've started to think that I might have had a mild form, probably asymptomatic. It's very unlikely otherwise. That's what we believed as well, never caught until 2 weeks ago. Kid came home ill from school with high fever, coughing heavily and half the class sick as well. After 2 days all at home had it but were recovering well. Until then everybody around us got it multiple times, family, friends, at work. So while I do hope you're right, I just wanted to let you know that we shared the same thought process not long ago. We were always very careful, but since all the measures have been lifted it spreads more easily. You can get it multiple times too. I've heard of people having it 5 separate times. My fianc has gotten it twice. I got it a year before him, he stayed negative. He got it twice later and I didn't get it. We do use precautions though and stayed separated and quarantined. I suspect I'm just immune to it at this point. I had every reason to catch it. Edit, who cursed me? Who jinxed me? What karmic debt do I owe? Not 2 days after posting this I tested positive for COVID, and I got it bad. Listen to your elders, kids. I thought the same thing and then finally got it late last week for the first time. Seems like a lot of my friends who never had it before are finally getting it. For your sake, I hope you are really just immune because it super sucks. Thought I was finally getting better yesterday, and then it took me back down. I never had a positive test before. I was playing odds when I would talk about it and always say I'm sure I had it and was just asymptomatic. Well, Saturday night I had a runny nose, tested Sunday, and I have COVID. I live with 2 people that had it twice in a 4-month span, and a workplace that was decimated with it. Never had a positive test. When I did feel like I had it, the test was always negative. I'm thinking immune, or if I did have it, no symptoms? Same. Either low symptoms, false negative tests, unlikely because many tests, different manufacturers, or just plain lucky. The way to prove if you've been exposed would be to get tested for antibodies that are specific to COVID, i.e. not just generated against the antigens made by the vaccine. But my curiosity isn't worth the time money at this point. My mother has tested positive twice but was never sick. If people don't feel sick and don't get tested, it doesn't mean they never caught COVID. Yeah, I think this is part of the answer. My brother only found out he had it because he had to fly back when he needed a negative test, so he got a test thinking it was a formality and he was positive. Even got a follow-up. Same deal. But 0 symptoms. Felt fine. Just no flying for him that week. As a person that hasn't had it, I wonder if I'm in the same boat or just lucky. Time will tell. Vaccines, masks, the shit they told us to do. Anytime I see a COVID particle coming at me, I duck. If you can dodge a COVID, you can dodge a ball. I'm always congested. COVID can't get in. I'm extremely asocial, like literally a hermit. I went to a friend's engagement party in November and it was the first social event I had been to in 3 years. I was social distancing before it was cool. Edit, there, I changed it to asocial. Now shut the duck up. Same. Went to one concert 2 weeks ago. It was the first event I was at since 2015, because I thought, well, you cannot hide forever. Caught COVID. Figures A? Stay away from kids. Honestly, the best way to avoid getting sick. Kids are just walking germ bags. Every single person I know with kids is sick, no joke, like every other week. Seems like 3 times a week in winter. I will never have children.